well, almost the Trang beach. Gotta cross the road and gonna take a walk all along the boulevard. I mean, there is a boulevard, there is also the beach, so the areas, depends on the area. Sometimes you have direct access to the beach, sometimes it's just like a little bit of elevation. But actually, why am I going the wrong direction? I'm gonna go here. Hey! How are you?
Good.
Oh, good. Like live streaming now. So, yeah, talk later. Bye. Oh, okay. Hi. So here is the thing. Today I don't feel very well. I've been feeling nauseous for a few days. Even the training yesterday, the combination live stream where I was doing boxing combinations. 1 second, I gotta cross the road. Yeah, sometimes you gotta find the momentum. Let me show you. So you just drive in their pace, and then you start walking. You walk slowly, like this. Okay. Here it is. Hey, morning, sweetie. Well, good afternoon, or almost like a good evening. All right, and here it is. The coast. So you see here, it's a boulevard, elevated. But if you want, you can basically go down here. There are certain sections, like a staircase, like right over there, and then you can go down. And if you like, you can walk here. But right now, the ocean is quite upset because it's a season. It's a good time for the surfers. It's an amateur waves, but yeah, in the winter time, it's a surfing season. And then in the spring and summertime, the water is so still. It is there are barely any waves. But yeah, let's take a walk. So, shortly speaking, I haven't been feeling good for the last 2 days. My stomach been upset in a very weird way. I mean, no poisoning, nothing, but just feeling nauseous, and had to be very picky with food, and had to eat in small quantities, supplement and stuff like that. So yeah, when there are periods like that, I think it's a good idea to take off some time, just a couple days, and just do like a baseline activity, like walking, like I'm doing now. So I already walked. I did some errands earlier in the day, and I'm gonna walk more and live stream and try to make it a little bit productive. Miami. Everyone thinks it's Miami, but it's not. It's Vietnam, Nha Trang. Look at this. It's a beautiful part of the world. Like right there, I might even walk all the way there. There is a marina beach. It's like a club, how you call that? A sailing type of club, and it's beautiful there. And you don't even need to pay. You just go in, order something, and you can take any place. You can swim, you can chill. It's a beautiful place for 1 day on the beach, you know what I mean? But basically, all parts of Nha Trang beach are great for just chilling on it and having a rest day and stuff. Me too, exactly, with food and my stomach too. Well, as I said, it's not, like a nasty sickness. Like, that's the thing. It's just my stomach being very, and I think my body being a little bit vulnerable in the last few days. might sound funny for you guys, but sometimes I think it is spiritual changes too. I've been reading about chakras lately, you know, like, and the Hindu philosophy and that kind of stuff. And ironically, well, everything that is originally related with the third chakra, which is located right in the stomach, once I started reading the chapter, I started getting super like resistance. It just started hurting everywhere, and well, it might be a coincidence, but you know, it's people who are more into some sort of spirituality might relate with that. But anyways, it is what it is. Taking a walk. Okay, hi everyone. What country is this? It's Vietnam, and the city is called Nha Trang. I'm walking, you know, behind a green screen. Not really. This is how nice it is here. It's a beautiful part of the world. First time when my husband told me that maybe we go to Vietnam. He's been there before. And my first reaction was, are you talking about Vietnam where there was a Vietnamese war? I mean, funny enough, but I was even, for a second, my brain started erroring, and I was like, oh, when was that war? Well, apparently it was long enough ago so that people just rebuilt their nation. It's a beautiful, beautiful country, and a very cool tourist destination as well. DDM versus Islam. We'll see tomorrow. I might even live stream me reacting to it live, so we shall see. Walking outside in this economy, you can afford it in Vietnam. Vietnam, that's cool. Travel is awesome. Islam submission. Yeah, well, if it comes to the submission, yeah, I see that is a high possibility. But let's see what happens in the striking. Let's see where the fight goes. I'll be honest. I expect Islam to take Jack on the ground and well, dominate there, but you never know. Like Jack is a good striker, so we shall see. Hey, how are you? I'm doing well. How are you guys doing? I hope everything's well on your side. Islam called you guys neighbors. Well, we are neighbors. I even been in Dagestan. I actually been in Makhachkala. That was when I was doing amateur boxing. There was like a sort of international competition, but it wasn't. It was like 6 countries. And yeah, we went there. And that's the competition they didn't officially let me to compete in because it was 18 plus, and I was 17. And I was not even close to turning into 18, so they didn't let me officially compete, but they did the sparring sessions, and I did like a 4, and I won 2, I lost 2, I lost 2 with the like a number 2nd and 3rd of the Russian team, so I mean that was predictable. I didn't have that much experience and, you know, comfort like I do now when it comes to the fighting and sparring. But yeah, they put those fights officially in the IBA because I guess they felt sorry. I guess they felt sorry for me that I came all the way in, and all of a sudden, oh no, you're too young. So that's how they did it. Islam is covered, running from Tapuria. Well, now it's kind of different. Now, even Dana White says that is a possibility. Both of them want to fight with each other. The question is which weight class. For Islam, it's way bigger advantage, and a better weight is 175 welterweight. And he imagine it's like they don't come, they cut or they make that weight, and then they usually gain within the 48 hours. They gain that weight, some of it on top. So it would be. I don't see Ilya really doing that comfortably in 175. If it's going to be 155, then I think it's going to be way more interesting, and it's going to be way more fair as well. Islam is a good grappler with good striking skills. Oh yeah, he absolutely is. Doing well, thank you. Islam can fuck anyone up. He wants other belts now. He already defeated all the worst opponents. Well, the question is, I mean, he has to defeat Jack, and well, people already saying that, oh, he's like, yeah, I know, Islam can win. I give that fight like 50-50, but underestimating Jack like that is a little bit, we gotta see how it goes. And as I said, if he would cut down to 155, well, definitely Ilya is a worse opponent too. So that fight would make a lot of people would look into that fight. That's for sure. Hello from Jakarta, Indonesia. Hi. GDM can be this. Well, that's what I'm saying. If it goes into like I think GDM is can get the advantage in the striking. I think it's possible. I'm not saying it because Islam is also a good striker, but on the ground, of course, it's definitely Islam gets that. And yeah, people saying because with Bilal, he he was taken down by Bilal, and it's easy to take him down. Well, we shall see. It really depends in this one where the fight dynamic goes. Hello from Ukraine. Hi. Should I bulk to be good fighter? It's not exactly. It doesn't work exactly this way. If you want to train strength and get stronger, and then being able to convert that into power and be more powerful performer, you don't actually need to bulk necessarily. It's there is a different training system for strength development. So I don't really see the point doing like a hypertrophy focused training when it focuses more on the muscle growth and then partially on the strength, when you can do more of the strength training and you don't really grow that much. And it's more beneficial because you don't make too much amount of weight that you already struggle to cut, like a water cut, because you would do water cut in your muscles, right? So your muscles contain a lot of water. So if you do water cut correctly, like if you gain too much of the body mass and then you do extreme water cut and you cut like a lot of weight that way, then regaining that weight, rehydrating, is going to be extremely difficult. So just the way you say that, just bulking, is it good for me to become a better fighter? That's not exactly how it works. If you do it correctly, yeah, you can benefit. You can get into a good weight class for you where you have chances to dominate. But if you want to be a better fighter, you got to develop the skills that the fighter requires. Where are you from? I'm from Georgia. Hi, Ohio. It's USSN. Why people hate Dagestani fighters? I think it's just everyone, a few years ago, everyone loved Dagestani fighters. I think, Dagestanis were super awesome, super dominating. But it's a combination, a little bit of, when you create a clan, that might happen with Georgians too. If there are going to be too many Georgians dominating and they become arrogant about it and say some things here and there, even there is also Dagestanis, and there is also Team Khabib, and there is also Nurmagomedov. So it's like, I personally like Islam. I like that he's not Nurmagomedov. He proved himself with his own abilities and with his own hard work and preparation that he's worthy, he's good, he's one of the best at the division. He's funny, he has a good sense of humor, he's reasonable, When here and there you have Umar and Usman Nurmagomedov who are cousins of the Khabib, and because the Khabib made that name for himself and for his surname, for his clan, basically, it's kind of, brought that arrogance to the family. Not Khabib directly, though he said certain things that I definitely disagree with, but more like Omar and Usman as, we're Nurmagomedov, by extension we are the best, but it doesn't work that way. So I think this is kind of where it started from. But some people dislike, maybe apart from Georgia, because Ilya, he fights. He doesn't have to rely only on wrestling, and Merab is getting better. He actually tries to keep his fights like a reasonable amount in the stance as well. But if you take all the North Caucasian fighters, they still predominantly take the fight to the ground, and for some fans it's just they're not happy about it because it's boring for them. So I can understand that too. Yeah, definitely not taking coffee today for my weakened body and stomach. Strength to weight ratio is more important than max strength in this case. Yeah, I mean, that's called the relative strength. Like strongman strength would not work in this case. It's an interesting place. Let me show you. I just spotted something like here on the mountain. It looks like a cafe, or I don't know. I'll check it out later. I'm actually quite close to the Marina Beach place, so yeah, I'm just gonna keep walking at this point. Happy weekend, hi. Okay, keep scrolling up. Merab beating Umar is goated. Well, yeah, I mean, I think it brought so much satisfaction to Georgians, and not because of he's Dagestani, no, just because what he talked about, like how he talked. He was like, I don't see how Merab can beat me. He's like, he does this and that. Like, he was just super arrogant. And speaking of that, he didn't even deserve that fight that way. He definitely had a shortcut because of his surname, because he's Nurmagomedov. Like, who did he beat? Like in the top 10? Was it Saint Hagen, Corey, and that's it. Trang versus Valentina will be exciting. Yeah, I think so, and I go for Valentina. Are you in Dagestan or what? No, not at this point. I've been in Dagestan, but not in Dagestan right now. How long have you been in Vietnam? I've been in Vietnam for almost a year now, except 2 months back in Georgia. Me and my husband were in Georgia for around 2 months, and yeah, now back in Southeast Asia, in Vietnam at this point. Okay. Which country are you in? As I said a second ago, Vietnam, Nha Trang. Nha Trang is the city. It's considered to be a central Vietnam, but it's still more south. It's north to Ho Chi Minh, Saigon, but it's a warm climate, and this part of the year it is warm and even hot. If Ilya versus Islam happens, we all know that Ilya has the best boxing in the UFC, and that fight needs to happen. Have a great day. Much love. I appreciate it. Thank you. And yeah, I mean, I definitely like everyone else, I'm asking for that fight. But I think what is important, it's the which weight class, or maybe it's going to be catch weight. You never know. Ilya might be, like brave enough, but basically knowing his personality, he might be so confident that he goes up 175. But I think wouldn't be the wisest decision. I mean, who am I to judge? But I think, I know though he wouldn't do that without his team, without his brother giving him a green light, I think. But at the same time, like seeing his personality, I think he would do that. He would take that fight in 175 and try his best. But it's just putting, it would mean that he would put himself in a little bit of risky situation. It would be risky to fight with Islam anyways, but in 155 at least they have, that's an optimal weight, if you know what I mean. Islam already has a height and the size advantage, and Ilya definitely fought a lot of fighters, but that's the thing. Ilya came up from the featherweight. He had the first lightweight fight with Herbert, and he went down. He won. He became a featherweight champion, and he went up after, getting more experience, getting better. But there is a little struggle of fighting with bigger, taller opponents, and especially if the weight class is not optimal for both of you, and you agree to literally be small in all the aspects. Unfortunately, that is, I'm not saying it's impossible. Maybe Ilya would make a legendary victory or something, but it's like just putting yourself in the unnecessary disadvantage. This is how I look at it. Valentina, Valentina, someone agrees with me. Yeah, I go for Valentina too. But it's not going to be like just a super easy fight. Zhang Weili is very good, and I think it's going to be very interesting to see the fight. I still go for Valentina. Rather like knockout submission, later rounds, or a decision win. I think Zhang Weili is going to give her a good resistance. Would you like to see Ankalaev versus Jiri fight? Yeah, sure. Why not? Well, I like seeing all the Jiri fights. I mean, the guy is. I hope he doesn't get CTE at some point, and he starts using his hands as a defense too. But super entertaining fighter. And for Ankalaev, I would like to see. Him adapting to how he comes back. So wouldn't it be a bad thing for them to fight? Before any talks and any thinking about the rematch between Ankalaev and Pereira. I think that is not a thing that anyone is interested at this point right now. But it gives time to Ankalaev to recoup, get back. For him and his team, work on his mistakes, come back stronger. Will be interesting to see how it works with Jiri, and I would watch that fight. 175 is the welterweight, where Islam and Jack Della Maddalena are fighting now. Green looks good on you, Diana. Thank you, appreciate it. Oh, pardon. You're in the US, I'm in Norway. By the way, my husband is originally from Norway too. Yeah, I'm not in US. It's okay if it's getting it's an early morning in US probably right now, and this is Vietnam, Nha Trang. Hi from France. Hi France. Do you know Ronda Rousey? Well, I started watching UFC. One of the reasons I started watching UFC was Ronda and McGregor. Look at this. So you have the view on the city and beautiful, colorful boats. It's like a signature for Nha Trang. Very pretty. Love it. And I think I just made it in a good time. So I'm gonna go to the Marina Beach. So this is that the beach club, and we're gonna be able to see the sunset, I think. All right, it's very nice. It's a beautiful area. If you're ever in Nha Trang, you should do the island trip. And they have, you can ask fishermen to take you on islands, or you can book the trip. And there's some floating villages even, or like floating houses. And Chris booked that trip for my birthday in the May this year. And yeah, it was like a floating restaurant / farm, fish farm, and seafood farm. And it just, yeah, like we had some dinner there, and it was very nice. It was like right in the middle of the ocean, like made of the wood, and just floating. Rent a bike and go to the lot, much fun. Oh, I used to ride motorcycle, but not here ever. I'm not planning to do that. It's like almost like a signing for taking the risk to just get, and I'm not talking about necessarily dying on the road. I'm talking about just, breaking your leg, twisting your ankle. I already know so many people that happened to them, specifically foreigners, because it's hard to, if you're not being riding a scooter here since childhood, because they do that since they're kids and teenagers. It's hard to really adapt to their flow, and sometimes it just catches up with you. So no, thank you. I rather stay healthy, optimal, be able to prepare and train, rather than just ruin it with one ride. So, but sleeper bus, love it. A sleeper bus is amazing. Gonna go to the lot at some point, that's for sure. Okay, there's some creep here. I'm just hiding them from channel 1. Guys, if someone is like a creep there, if my moderators are here, obviously they know what they should do. But I'm just directly, I don't even time those people out. I just turn them down. But okay, let me show you the Marina Beach. So let's take a little look. Hello. Yeah. So I think this is the restaurant part, and I think there is a loop, so I can literally walk around, or no, I can walk one side or another. Well, we can go both sides. And you see, I didn't even have to pay anything. I can just go and order something, obviously, and then I can sit and take the place. Look at us talking to a woman like that. Ever worked for you once in your life? Guys, desperation never works. Don't show women that you're desperate, even if you are. Never works. But look at this. I love this view, man. Let me just get a little bit more to a better spot. There's like a stage, DJ playing, families. Isn't it beautiful? You live here or you're visiting? At this point, well, living part-time, let's call it that way. Yeah, living part-time. How much do I weigh? I weigh 50, past 54, a little bit less than 54 at this point. Look at this. You have a net, you can even lay down here and just chill. Okay. Let's keep walking. You work out with dumbbells? Yes, sometimes when I do strength training, I do work out with the dumbbells. I think I can't walk past here. Let me see, I think that's the end point. It looks like a little island, and I thought it would be like a boulevard where I could just keep walking, but not really. I think it's closed off. Yeah, it's closed. So you see here, like it looks like a little peninsula, and I would walk all over, but yeah, apparently I cannot. So I gotta turn around. One more time, look at the view. It's actually nice. I can chill, like if you want to be more isolated. You can go on the rocks here. It's not really a problem to climb down. Yeah, Vietnam is beautiful. Let me just sit for a little bit. Whew. What is the place? It's a marina beach in Vietnam, Nha Trang. Catch wrestling is this, and the sambo is a perfect mix. Good mix for wrestling. Any UFC lover, like a lot of UFC lovers come over here. Vietnam daddy of USA. Not only USA, in 25 years they kicked out French, Americans, and Chinese. After all of that, China tried to occupy Vietnam, but they just kicked their ass. So I mean, very nice people, but I actually respect that. I respect that unity, and I respect that they don't take shit from others. Are you alone? Right now? Yeah, I just took a walk all over here by myself. But generally, no, I'm married, and me and my husband travel together. Who'll be next for Hamzat? I don't know, they're talking about Pereira, this and that. Hamzat doesn't have a history of fighting that too often either. Yeah, maybe due to his health issues previously, but we shall see. I don't see him defending his title way too often, and combination of maybe not having a proper opponent, or also just that might be his pace. So it's definitely not gonna do it like Mirab. So I don't know who is next for Hamzat. I mean, rematch was the Gilbert Burns, but what I think that was in the welterweight, right? So it's yeah, that's not the weight for Burns. And yeah, who we have in the middleweight? I mean, we have DDP, and he's probably just training and preparing. He's not coming back yet. We have Strickland, but he's suspended, I think. Maybe Jirin Hamzat would be cool. I don't know. No, I'm not single. I'm married. What happened to my arm? I was just nothing. It's just bumped my elbow a little bit. Nothing serious. Okay, well, let's try to walk. I want to check the other part, so let's do a little bit more walking. And I'm most likely going to come back here because this part, I love this part with the view on the city. Let me show you again. So isn't it nice? Look, nice boulevard. You have places to just chill like this. And then, yeah. So I'm probably gonna come back here, but let's look a little bit more around. What's your maximum dumbbell curl? I think I did like a 30 kgs, but I did it with the barbell, the smaller barbell. But that was with it was like a 1 repetition. I'm talking about 1 rep max. How many push-ups you can do 5 in one go? 10, 15, I guess. So can you tell me a few supplements for the best recovery after heavy workout? Well, the best recovery after heavy workout is a good restorative sleep the same night. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to focus on. Have a screen protection on your phone with the red, orange light that's going to stimulate your system for, prepare you to get to bed, all that kind of stuff. When it comes to the supplements, I wish Chris was here because he always gives a better detailed answers to those questions. But just basic creatine, monohydrate. There are very few people who don't really have a good tolerance. Usually, it's the most studied supplement, and it usually has a positive effects for the muscle growth and for cognitive abilities as well. So creatine, monohydrate, you want to supplement depleting micronutrients like magnesium, potassium, keep hydrated, so take electrolytes. Potassium is electrolyte mineral. Then you want to omega-3 fatty acid. It really depends on your diet because sometimes it's just you don't get enough of it, right? So you try to eat well and use like a calorie tracking and nutrition tracking app like Chronometer. I use it personally, but it's still good to have those supplements. Multivitamin, just boom, easy, get some basic vitamins there. And yeah, I guess everything else, there was something else that I was trying to remember, but I think that's pretty much it. We're talking about basics though, right? I'm in Vietnam, it's Nha Trang, and let me show you. Okay, I haven't been in this part. So this is Marina Beach, and I don't know if there are shops or a restaurant, a big restaurant or like a few separate ones. So let's look together. And someone is dancing right over there. Oh, it's cool. It's like a Vietnamese dancing. Oh, it's nice. I think they're rehearsing and stuff. Yeah, they're rehearsing for sure. So oh, that's nice. I don't know what's that called, but it's a very specific instrument. You heard that, chat. Who's your favorite fighter? After Georgians, Merab and Ilya, I would put Alex Pereira. Okay, let's see. Oh, there's here. We have a yacht here, and oh, look at this. It's a wedding area, so you can have a wedding here, and it looks beautiful. A little a wooden like terrace or the boulevard you call it. But yeah, I think another side you have this, and then there are like villas or something. So I'm just gonna go back and order a fresh coconut. Thoughts on the breath work like a Wim Hof? Oh, I've done it, and well, it has a very interesting effect. Well, let me just show you it one more time. Okay. Yeah, super cool instrument. Okay, there's some activity in the chat. Last prediction of the GDM Islam. I say 50-50 because I don't know how it goes, which more into like a striking exchange or mostly on the ground. Still maybe leaning more to the ground, so Islam takes Jake to the ground, has the takedown control, the ground control time, and maybe possibly submission. If it goes more into a striking exchange, obviously if Islam feels uncomfortable and losing on the striking exchange, obviously he's gonna go for the takedowns. That's absolutely 100%. But that's why I'm like, again, let's see how it goes. It's interesting, gonna be interesting fight. Okay. Oh, sorry, I already passed her. I don't know what instrument it is, but maybe try to screenshot it on the live stream, from the live stream, put it in the Google search, and I think you'll find it. Hello from Fiji Islands. Hi. Hi from Vietnam. Nha Trang. Yeah, I wouldn't want to interrupt her, so well, what's done is done. How do you manage to get enough vitamin D without exposing yourself to sun? Being fair. Well, that's the thing. You don't have to expose your skin to the sun. It's enough to open your curtains and open your window, the glass. Translates the light a little bit differently. So you open the light and you get the sunlight into your system. This is how your body produces. This is a trigger for your body to produce vitamin D, not through your skin. So yeah, it's like and when you walk, you don't have to stay on the sideline. Just go out and walk. And you can walk through the shade. You still get that sunlight into your system through your eyes. And yeah, this is how it works. So you don't have to burn on the sun, that's for sure. When you were going for fights, I eagerly waiting to support you. I appreciate it. Well, even now, I'll tell you, let me get the other spot here. So in a Trang Sport Tonight, they're doing like a boxing competition. Let me see if this works. that works. I think that works. Good light and stuff. 1 second. Just let me adjust the camera and thing. Yeah, that looks good. But anyways, yeah, I already told them that if so they look for my pair. At this point, I'm like well, I cut more, so I'm like 54 and a half. But I said 55 kgs, and that works. They found one girl, but she said she has broken ribs and she's like 70 kgs. I'm definitely not fighting a real fight with the 70 kgs, because even if I'm a better boxer, it's just like I'm not exposing myself for a potential CTE and stuff. So yeah, looking for they're still looking. It's going to be in December, so yeah, if they find someone, they find. If not, I'll just keep training. And Thailand would be a possibility, going specifically to Thailand, maybe in the beginning to Phuket. I have some friends there who train. Actually, I'm in contact with one guy who is a coach. He's coach of his wife, who's been a sparring partner of Valentina Shevchenko, like this time for this fight. So yeah, he was saying that it's easy to organize fights here. Yeah, there are some girls doing Muay Thai, but there are a lot of them who do boxing. For softies do boxing because, you know, like all the elbow, knees, and leg kicks and body shots. Yeah, that's and I understand. I'm softy myself. I'm definitely not doing Muay Thai at this point in my life. But for boxing, Phuket is like a, you know, good place to start, to see after many years how you can do it. Or even if your first experience, it's a good place. And then Bangkok has a better competition. So in the Bangkok, it's also possible to get a higher level competition. But it's generally a good place to start. So I think I would aim for Thailand essentially. Not leaving there, but just go and have fight, you know, officially read in my record, and then, you know, back home. Keep scrolling up, guys. I'm struggling with going too easy and fun and technique, but also not simulating the grindiness of a fight. Well, yeah, that's a little bit tricky one, but it comes with experience. And yeah, you still get sometimes, because as a boxer, when you do explosive combo, well, it kind of goes that way, that some punches might land and it's still explosive. But there is one thing when you put intention into it, that you actually really want to knock out the person in front of you. There's another thing when you just train your distance, you train the catch boxing, you train you know, things you want to train, and you know, you stop when you're a sparring partner, you know, you hit them too hard, or you continue, but you continue with the body shots and lighter shots to the head, but still bothering them. So there are like ways how to do it. And well, on the back, on the pads, definitely put all you have, and definitely train the endurance and stamina through it, and just basically to be able to deal with that feeling inside when you get nauseous and your lungs are burning, because that's what's going to happen in the fight. And on the top of everything, you're going to get punched to your face. So keep your hands up, not just keep your hands up, but train with your hands up, using them, learning how to implement them with the punches, so you can do that quite efficiently. You know what I mean? Yeah, keep scrolling up, guys. That's a good opportunity to be with the guy who trains with Valentina. I mean, his wife is training, and he's being her coach. And obviously they spent some time there. And Thailand is quite I mean, it's not the most expensive place in the world, and for a reason. And there quite some famous fighters go there and train usually. So it's not like a very hard thing to encounter. And they both say, both him and his wife say that she is a champion in reality too. She's just a sweetheart, super humble. So it wouldn't be a problem if I was in that gym, for example, and I would go and shake her hand and say, "Oh, I love you. You're amazing. This and that." Like, you know, I probably could, unless it's like a specific specialized training. If that would be like a good group training, I could join and train, and I think a lot of people do that there. And you know, in the fighting communities, yeah, she's a star in the UFC, and a lot of people know her. But when it's a training environment, it's a little bit different. You know, like you just all people who are there to train for whatever purpose. Can you tell your diet? I'm going balanced diet. I don't have any, you know, carnivore, keto. I've done everything. Tried everything. I've been vegetarian for 6 years, but essentially to realize that there are certain nutrition that we need. They're essential nutrition, and according to our body parameters, we have different requirements for different people, both men and women as well. So for that, the best thing is to get a calorie and nutrition tracking app where you can put your information and you can see exactly what to do, or work with the nutrition specialist and they can help you with that. You know what I mean? So obviously the main bioavailable protein, animal source protein, definitely needed. You don't have to eat all the meat and you don't have to go crazy carnivore or anything like that. But for me, the main source of protein, bioavailable animal protein, is chicken breast. And I keep this chicken breast because I'm a big foodie. So if I eat a lot, I can eat a lot if I want to. And I try to keep a big volume, lower calorie. So chicken breast is the best option considering the protein component and the volume. Then eggs. I like some dairy, like cottage cheese and that kind of stuff. But I don't eat that necessarily every day. Definitely seafood every now and then, and fish here in Trang. Absolutely, they have a great products when it comes to that. Then you have a moderate amount of carbs. I'm not kidding myself. You need carbs, both slow and fast carbs for explosivity, for energy. It's actually interesting. There have been some studies that showed that for explosive athletes, sprinters, boxer, combat sports, like carbs is the best source of energy. And when carbs are demonized, oh, carbs are bad. No, carbs are not bad. Carbs are bad for you if you eat them too much and if you move too little, because you just imagine having a car and you just keep putting adding the, how you call it, the petrol in it, and you don't even drive it, right? It's just, it's going to damage the car. Or humans, it causes, because of the calorie surplus, one of the biggest reasons, it causes the gaining weight and obesity. So carbs, absolutely. Fiber, so fiber and micronutrients, vitamins and minerals. The big chunk of it and fiber comes from purely plant foods, vegetables, fruits, berries, that kind of stuff. So definitely try to always implement that. And probiotics, some fermented food, in the moderate quantities. That's pretty much it. But when you have a calorie tracking app, that always helps you to see, okay, I might eat healthy, but maybe I don't eat something enough, or I don't supplement enough on something that it causes a deficiency. And any sort of deficiency is going to create this weird feeling that there's something wrong in your body. I'm from Georgia, but I'm in Vietnam. Let me read through the chat. I'm an amateur MMA fighter with a record 8-0 at the flyweight. That would be your advice for me, like guide, because sometimes I lost motivation, interest, etc. Well, you need to start. Oh, you need to clean this. Okay, should I move or just? Oh, okay. So can I move it like this? Yeah. Or I need to go or move here.
You stand here, play bus.
Oh, okay. No problem. Yeah. Just move over. Yeah. So Yeah, let me see. I think he's just cleaning the thing. Okay. I'm just like wondering if I can sit back or not. Yeah. Sorry, can I sit back here? Yeah. Or you put it.
I need to take
Yeah, it's like. Yeah. Okay. So you take it away like this. Yeah. Okay. Okay. But I can sit on this. Yeah. Still. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. It's like I don't need a mat necessarily. I just like the light. So it's a good light here, and I'm gonna just keep it like this. But yeah, anyways, motivation gonna go away sometimes. So obviously, your long-term will and willpower, like remind yourself of the goal, surround yourself with the people. That's why it's good to have people, team, training mates, who, you know, you stay accountable with. You create that environment where you have to be accountable to others as well. But sometimes also rest. You need to, when you start feeling that you're burning out, it's better to take a rest of a few days. In a few days, nothing's going to happen. Actually, what's going to happen is a full recovery. And sometimes when you train consistently and you have all competition scheduled and all that kind of stuff, in that routine, you need those few days, sometimes week or two, and even months. Well, again, 3 weeks, let's take it that way. So you have full recovery. When you have a longer periods of the rest, you still do some training, but you do like a light training, an enjoyable training, like a you know, technique, and you do like a nice light cardio, and you do like a little bit, right, just to keep toned. But few days, you can always take off a few days and just rest. And find, like, just to try to find a balance. I mean, like, when even statistically, when I spar, I tend to, and since I get no butterflies intent, I dumb down my whole style. I struggle with this. Okay, so, well, you gotta manage it. You gotta put away the ego and find a good sparring partner. The one that you can always stop and talk through things that, okay, I want to work this one, so, you know, and that there's nothing wrong with that, to giving yourself or them a task, because a lot of times you don't do only freestyle sparring. They might do the pressure, you do the defense, like a first and second number, defensive and offensive positions. So you need to break down the tasks as well sometimes for the sparrings to make it more efficient. And every time you can stop, pause, you know, talk to your sparring partner. So that's why I make sure that it's someone that is not just, you know, someone who just wants to brawl and that's it. Sparring there is a difference between sparring and fight for a reason. Sparring has to prepare you as much as possible for the fight. Nothing's going to prepare for you for fight 100%. A fight is going to be still a fight, and it's like, oh, you feel sick? No, you need to keep pushing through unless it's a real threat to your health and your team decides to pull you off. But you put everything there. When you do sparring, so you're gonna have to be more methodical, and sometimes you go heavier, yes, sometimes you go high intensity, so you replicate those feelings like burning lungs and fatigue like it would happen in fights. So all those things are familiar. Yes, you get punched in your head too, that is also familiar. I'll tell you honestly, in my experience, when it comes to just the sense of getting punched in the face, just being like a smack, like it's a moderate type of punch, it's super fast, and getting like super hard punch, you know, sometimes that's like when you're sparring with someone who just wants to kill you. I'll be honest, punch is a punch. And what I mean is I didn't really feel that much difference in there. Obviously, yeah, some punches are super hard, and the heavier you go in the weight class, it really depends on those factors too. The lighter weight you are, for the preparational purposes, it's really like you want to keep it fast, smacky, have a sense of, you know, like getting hit in the face, but it's still not as damaging as to your brain as when you get really, really heavy blows. So again, remembering that it's a preparation, right? It's a preparation for a fight. You're potentially gonna get those blows, and hopefully you worked through the technique and your style good enough that actually you might even like won't need to, right? You do a good box. You how to say that? Even your fight should be methodical. Brawling, yeah, sometimes it gets to the point that you just brawl and it's about who's gonna outbrawl, who has a better will. But boxing is more than that. Boxing is a strategy, and sparrings really help. If you really approach sparrings like that, it's gonna translate into your approach to the fight as well. That's my opinion to it. And that is your favorite. How many times have you been in Thailand, and anywhere you can recommend to train purposes any martial arts? I haven't been in Thailand yet. Chris, my husband, he has been there many times, but we might go there on this visit. So we're gonna spend next few months in Vietnam majorly, but we might travel around too. And Thailand is potentially the place to go because, like, even for the visa run, let's say visa run 1 week. Well, and schedule fight, my first fight, for example, like why not? Yeah, how would that be a problem? We can do that, but for the training purposes, here in the Trang there are gyms for guys. There is a competition. There is even in Vietnam in MMA, it's called the Lion MMA. I think it's the biggest organization in Vietnam, and in Vietnam you have 110 million people. So there is a competition for men at least in MMA, and there's kickboxing. But if you really, really want to go like a Muay Thai, for example, kickboxing, boxing even, I would say MMA as well. But Thailand might be a good scene. And general Asia, in China you also have that stuff. And I never been in China either, but I know people who've been there, who built their careers, fighting careers there. Chinese, by the way, also have that bad culture of super heavy sparrings, and one of my friends who used to be a professional fighter, and he learned the importance of being smart rather than just go heavy all the time. So he's doing fine now. He's like 48 years old. He's friends of both me and Chris, and he's doing fine. But he's been saying he saw so many young boys, like 22, 23 years old, and because they've been getting super heavy blows for many years already, like since they were like almost teenagers, they're slow. Like it already affects their ability to talk, in some cases, and that's just horrible. And unfortunately there is still a culture of it, and not only China but many other places as well. So that's why we're talking about it's not being sorry for saying pussy. It's not about being that. It's about if we want to make it a sport and keep popularizing martial arts and combat sport as the sport, then we need to approach it as the sport, right? So we need to approach and talk about the safety and longevity after that sport and how we can make those chances better. Keep scrolling up, guys. I appreciate you being here, by the way. Thank you very much. I'm from Georgia. Yeah, my husband is. I've been ranting a little bit, but sorry that was an important topic. And yeah, some other people say that Georgia in USA. No, Georgia in the country. If you know Merab Dvalishvili, Ilya Topuria, those guys, it's the same country. Slava Ukraini, Героям слава. Yeah, we Georgians. Despite that is very complicated to conflict, and I'm sorry, guys, that you are in that situation. But as a Georgians, we stand with you. Yeah, Georgian in the Caucasus region. I think that's more accurate. I mean, we can be included in Eastern, the beginning of Asia, and we're also a Caucasus mountain region. So, and keep scrolling up. Are you from Australia? No, I'm from Georgia. What reason the choice made MMA in your life? I'm going for boxing. I just like watching MMA, and I know other fighters, and it's just, when you do one of the combat sports, you tend to watch other. There are a lot of, you have judokas, you have wrestlers, you have boxers, you have just kickboxers who do their sport, but they still watch MMA. Why? Because, it consists, it has the elements of their sports, right? That was the ultimate goal of creating the Ultimate Fighter thing. And so if you do any combat sport, any martial art, you most likely gonna watch MMA at some point too. And that's what I do for quite some time now. It's December, I have a fight, so pray for me. Prayers for you, and yeah, wish you the best of luck. Palestine or Israel? Well, not neither of that. Sorry, that conflict also is not that close to me. But what is happening in the Palestine is super sad. And when they say that Israel organized genocide, yes, essentially it did. So I absolutely feel for the people of the Palestine. But at the same time, that's been a conflict where they hate, based on the very heavy hatred. Like, it's not okay to do the genocide and bomb, like whatever it is there just for the purpose of the political victory. But also, there is not okay to do as a terrorist organization target people and go to the festivals and kill them. So it's a very heavy conflict. I hope that it goes to the how we call that, the two-state solution somehow, and both accept it in the, I don't know if it might be still unacceptable for neither side, but that's the only way. Are you married? Yes, I am. As my record is 8-0, what do you think when you should move to professional? I think you already can start thinking about it, and there are still levels to professional. You can go professional and still, transit smoothly. Because, amateur, yeah, it's like sometimes fight is a fight. And there are levels to it, there's the quality to it, but fight is a fight, and it's about how you transition from level to level. Sometimes amateur doesn't mean that you are way lower than all professionals. No, there's like a transition period, and there are different organizations where you could start from certain and don't really feel that much of the difference when you become pro, and then you gradually get better. Okay, yeah, I appreciate you guys, and even though I responded to some of the questions, but let's try to keep politics, ideologies, that kind of stuff out of this chat. I'm not hiding anyone or something, but I just or timing out anyone. I'm just encouraging you, because that's just not the topic, and my channel is not about the politics either. Yeah, if you've been undefeated, why not? That's what I'm saying. Maybe already start thinking about it. No boxing today. Well, I haven't been feeling very well. I'll tell you. Even yesterday, my stomach feeling super weird, and it's not like I'm intoxicated or poisoned or anything like that. But I just feel weak, vulnerable, nauseous very often, and I have to eat very clean, let's call it that way, to my body not to reject it. And yeah, some people might think that I'm anticipating for a child. No, that's not true either. It's not that the case. So it's just being a little bit off, and that's the times when I usually still try to move and take a walk. So I walked all the way here. Let me tell you how much I walked. 10,000 steps already. I'm gonna walk all the way back as well after I finish the live stream. So yeah, trying to keep the base level of activity and getting back to training. Maybe do one training tomorrow, Saturday, sometimes you do that. But I try to keep weekends for the rest as well, and then back on Monday. hope you feel better. Your shadow boxing has been looking so great lately. I appreciate it. I mean, sometimes I don't notice the difference sometimes. I really need to rewatch my videos to see some changes. But when if you guys follow and see that, and you tell me about it, that it means a lot. That means it's getting better. Do you think Arthur Beterbiev versus Bivol should happen? 3 should happen. I think it's gonna happen. I was somewhere, not directly from Bivol, but someone was commenting on his stance, rather his Bivol's opinion, or that was that person's interpretation of it. But like instead of Canelo versus Bivol, for example, or Crawford versus Bivol, he's not really interested in that. He's focusing on potentially do a cert trilogy with Beterbiev. So I think that fight rather going to happen sooner than later. What's your weight category? Well, I'm 53 kgs now, like 54, 53 kgs now, and I would go all the way down to 48. I was thinking flyweight first, like a 51 boxing flyweight, but now I would 40 is like his minimal weight, like a minimum weight, and I think I would do that. Start at least, so I can then see what is the competition and how comfortable I am. Like I can't stop myself hitting elbows and knees, that once I was disqualified because I hit my opponent with spinning elbow and he got knocked out. Okay, well, that's not, but well, there are certain rules, but you are generally allowed to throw elbows and spinning elbows, regular elbows. You cannot do in the ground. You cannot, at least in UFC, you cannot throw those vertical elbows on the laying opponent or something like that. But and when the person is getting up, you cannot throw the knee. But generally you can. So what do you mean? And which sport do you do specifically? Is it MMA or is it Muay Thai? Which are the rules and which ones are you breaking? You can please clarify that. I'm from Georgia, the country. Have you done MMA? Not professionally. Trained with some friends who are training MMA. Yes, there was a time we would just meet together, train, and this is when I did quite a lot of, just a very super light sparrings. I did some wrestling that period with my friends. There's some girls, more boys, but we would just exchange ours. I was even teaching them some of the boxing, like how you do that in boxing. So we would do like a mixed trainings, but I never ever did a competition or even heavy sparring in MMA. So I recently drawed with my opponent as well, and I stopped using social media completely besides YouTube, and still here will always be negativity. How do you with this so well? I would say set the higher purpose. Like to me, I do the YouTube and it's part of the journey, part of the goal. I want to have a voice. I want to have a platform where like that one day hopefully it gets bigger. But there is also a thing like it might be a little bit too spiritual. Maybe some people might believe or live that way, but there is something beyond everything. Sometimes when you stop in the moment and you just be in the present, ask yourself a question. Even though you want to be a champion, you do MMA, and there's sometimes it's so serious, like you cannot help the stress, you're like so scared, or any other reason, or you work and your boss is mean to you and it's so stressing, but does it really even matter? Like what is the meaning of it? Like, is it really that important when we're living that life and there is something called God or the universe is something that is way greater, and we're part of that greater thing. And there is this, and then you have the warrior's journey, and you have the, different paths that lays not only physical, it's a combination of physical and philosophical training. So I just do approach it that way. And part of me just not taking negativity is just basically practicing my detachment. It's one of the interesting aspects of, for example, Japanese philosophy. You just detach. Still, like, I'm not killing or blocking my emotions, but I'm detaching myself especially when the things get negative, right? So I can assess the situation with a clear mind, and I can respond with a clear mind, and all that kind of stuff. And years of practicing, from being very emotional and very easily frustrated person, I pretty much regained the whole control, except some situations. Sometimes I need so-called support in my independence, and this is why I have my amazing husband. But even those moments, I try to reduce them within myself, because it's still my responsibility. So the art of detachment, patience, sometimes even a little bit of indifference too. You gotta be indifferent sometimes, but not all the time. You still need to embrace your emotions, both negative and positive. Sometimes when you cannot help it and you feel a certain way, let yourself feel it. It's like sometimes, well, even like let's take the fighting analogy. Like, sorry, my jaw. As I said, I'm feeling weird these days, so I probably need to get more magnesium, potassium, and calcium just to, not to hurt my jaw here. But I'll wrap it up soon. I'm just gonna say one thing. Even when you fight, it feels bad when your lungs burn out. It's like, and sometimes when you think that your opponent and everyone else is better than you, everyone else is bigger than you, yada, 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 right? But it's not true, right? Objectively it's not true. And you know what you need to work on to get better. And you gotta be smart, and your team needs to be smart, all that kind of stuff. But also, when you train, for example, and you push yourself, and you like almost want to throw up in the moment when you have super high intensive training that is essential to actually develop that capacity for endurance, just embrace it. Just do it. Like, you feel bad. Well, you gotta feel bad at this point, right? You need to feel bad in that moment, because you know that you need to do that for X amount of minutes or X amount of time, couple times a week of the super high intensity training. But you know that it's gonna result into you gonna come out better out of it. So there are a lot of situations in the life that you need to embrace your negative feelings and negative emotions and senses. Because it teaches you how to, despite feeling bad, how to still navigate and essentially detach too. So sorry for ranting too much, but here I am sharing some self-acquired wisdom here. Okay, amateur. Sorry, like I misfocus on that one. As in amateur, MMA elbow and face off is not allowed. So just because of my muscle memory and intention, I hit my opponent with spinning elbow in the first round, so that fight became no contest. Okay, so I think it's time for you to start moving to professional. As I said, you already have a good record. It was you, right? You said 8-0, because there were two of you guys who were saying that you're both fighting. But doesn't matter. If you can go pro. Yeah. Just start. You need to start from the right point. Don't go but no one's gonna let you in, UFC 1 championship straight away either, right? You gotta have to start from the certain point. Well, then start it. Yuli is now single. Do you find him attractive? Well, just to tell you, my husband is bald. Norwegian guy with blue eyes and blonde beard, so kind of opposite. So I would say still my husband. I think Ilya is a great guy. I think he's by the UFC standards. I think comparing to a lot of UFC fighters, he's good looking, and I hope he, he rather his family situation gets resolved, or he's focuses. At least I hope he's going to be able to put all that. Another example, when you have that frustration, when you have a struggle in your personal life or personal relationships, but you take it and put all of that frustration and convert it into a strength and power in your sports career, for example. I hope that he does that. And well, that's a good example how you use those negative, you let yourself feel those negative emotions too, and sometimes redirect them somewhere else. We got a rematch on December, and I'm waiting for my 10th fight. After 10th, I will move to my professional career. I have friends in Brave, so I will try to give professional debut in Brave. Okay, that's super cool. Well, I mean, when you get on that path, and well, I truly believe in you. I think you got it. Managing to have 8-0, it's already makes you better than a lot of others in the, at least in the level you are right now, right? So now you gotta step up, evolve. Well, it's a good plan. After 10-0, you go pro. And Brave is the good place to start. So absolutely go for it. And I mean, whenever you go there, I hope you come back in that live stream and get us updated on your journey. Okay. Okay, thank you. I appreciate you. Yeah, I keep scrolling up. Okay. I'm removing some spammers, guys. Sorry. Is your husband a tall boy? He's a tall man. He's tall man. He's quite older than me as well. Well, that's how it's. It wasn't my choice necessarily, but when you meet the right person, some factors go on the second place. And yeah, so he's a little bit the opposite of Ilya Topuria looking wise. And he used to jump from the mountains. He was a base jumper. So different sport as well. Are you in UFC? No. I'm not looking forward to be there as a fighter, but you know what? I'm open. I'm open for the opportunity. I'm saying it now, that I'm just soon gonna hit my 10,000 followers on YouTube. But I'm saying it now. One day, you never know. Maybe I would love to do the interviews, and not just interviews like funny for fun. No, literally talking about the backgrounds and the history and the experience and the journeys of the different fighters, the pioneers, the early 2000 fighters, not only UFC necessarily, the other ones too. I would love to do something like that and do podcasts, and talk about not necessarily like a Joe Rogan. There is only one Joe Rogan, but I don't think there is anyone amongst female at this point who does something similar, and I think that would be amazing. But now I'm kind of dreaming big, and I'm open to it. And if someone says that it's impossible, well, I just detach. No, I'm in Vietnam. In Vietnam, Nha Trang. The girl I like, I know she likes me too, but we both found out she's 5 years younger, and now I feel like she likes me less. Well, I think most of the women like when the guy is older. I think most of women and most of girls do. The question is about how old are you, and if she is underage. That's not a question, but Usually it's like quite natural for women to like older men. There is nothing wrong with that. There is a lot has to do with evolution too. We as the women literally have to mature emotionally by the time of the period. Now it's illegal, and like I'm not for the early pregnancies and early marriages, absolutely not. But biologically speaking, like literally after a girl gets her period, which is around 10, 11, 12, sometimes a little bit later, and she would get pregnant usually in the early, I'm talking about like back in the caveman period, not necessarily only the marriages. And even after that, in the medieval, up until that point, it was practiced that women would get pregnant very early. They automatically had to be super aware of the environment to secure the protection for their children and for their kids. So I think emotionally women mature way faster, and that's why usually there is a little gap between men and women. But obviously it also has to do a lot with the culture and so the social environment, and all of that changing also rapidly from the decade to decade. But I'm talking about like the biology. So I think there is still a thing. A lot of women like older men. It's not the necessarily main factor that determines things. It's more about not even older. It's the women try to find someone on the maturity level, right? Like a certain maturity level, and that happens that usually that's the men who are older, because for you guys, it takes a little bit of time to mature and be ready for the family, be ready for those things to settle down and build up things. Because in the early periods, what would you do? You would conquer, you would go for the fame, you would expand, you would just work hard for the family. For the men had their own things kind of to do, and yeah, it's just interesting thing. So I don't think there is anything wrong unless the girl is underaged in today's reality, I mean. What is the age difference with you and your husband, if you don't mind me asking? Yeah, no problem. He's 18 years older than me. So some people might like, wow, 18 years. But that's the thing. When I met him, I thought he was like, I don't know, 33, and he was 40. Like, so I always like more mature and older men, but 18 years old, it wasn't the gap I was necessarily looking for, but I was fascinated by the man he is generally. And we, sometimes there are couples when you have that kind of gap and you can see the difference in the generations. Like, yeah, there are definitely some differences, but considering that I am always been an old soul in the way that I had to mature very early. I like the culture and the music and the history from the past. That is everything that is like older than me usually. I'm from Georgia, where in Georgia it's even faster maturing, so it was basically my conscious decision that was, and I was a little bit like, okay, 18 years might be a little bit too much, and well, he survived cancer and survived the crash and coma and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, he's my best friend, he's my best supporter, I'm his best supporter. He's super funny, like we're just like somehow his maturity level when it comes to being just himself and joke and laugh and being silly, he's not an old soul, he's definitely a young soul. So yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, that happens. All the legendary boxers said Ali beat Tyson, and you said Tyson beat Ali. Which logic do you use for this? Well, let me tell you that way. Even Tyson said that he would, and because with a huge respect to Ali, and Ali was legend. Ali was a heavyweight that moved like a lightweight, and a lot of things at that era that he did considered wrong. Like the way he threw the jab, the way he moved, everything was wrong. Like it wasn't conventional boxing, but that was one of the reasons why he was great. And he managed to go. He managed to win so, like, win and even knock out boxers that were way stronger and heavier than him. But at the same time, Tyson's explosivity, first 2-3 rounds of the Tyson, there is like, there was and that's the thing, Ali said himself, oh, that's an interesting thing from the history. Ali said himself, the only boxer at some point in the earlier, when he was not upcoming star, he was already a star, but he was still young. He was thinking the only person he thinks would beat him was Floyd Patterson. Floyd Patterson is basically person before Tyson. That was the Castamatos, another champion. Like, after I watched his biography, he became one of my favorite boxers. Literally, the man of honor, humble, weak chin, knocked out many times, always coming back up, but also super powerful. So Tyson is his evolved version. Tyson was, the Kazdamato was saying, Tyson was the perfect product of the peekaboo style, absorbing it perfectly. So Ali himself said the only person he would think could beat him, Patterson. Why? Because Patterson, same as Tyson, even in a better shape, they were something that's super explosive. So it was not just a heavy, strong punch. It was super explosive, super unexpected angles. The shifts, that was like something very specific for the peekaboo. And Castamato, the one who was training like his camp, and his team was the ones who were raising boxers in that and grooming them in that style. So the thing is, if Tyson would be able to finish the fight within these 3 rounds, yes. If Ali would survive those like first rounds, like he did with Foreman, for example, he was slipping a lot. He would wear him out, and then he would go on the on the attack. Then Ali could win. So it's the fight of if. But I still see I would see Tyson knocking him out. That would be a very high chance. Yeah, and in my defense, Ali himself was talking about Floyd Patterson, about saying that he saw him as an older person in the game at that era who would do that. Tyson was basically an evolved version of the Floyd Patterson. Okay, I'm keep scrolling up, guys. No boxing tutorials today. No, just a chilling day today. I'll see how I feel tomorrow. If I feel good, I'm gonna definitely do boxing. I don't like to skip trainings if it's not necessary. If my body really doesn't need it. But if I'm still off, I'm just gonna let myself to chill weekends, and then coming back on Monday and keep going with the training. But another thing, I'm also gonna restart karaoke night. So guys, if whoever remembers me doing karaoke hosting and singing, and other people were singing too, and it was so much fun, well, I'm gonna do that again. So feel free to join for that one. I'm gonna do that Sunday evening Vietnamese time, first time. So that's gonna be a first time karaoke live stream. Okay, I keep scrolling up. Poatan versus Jones White House. It was a good opportunity. After what happened to Tom, it was a good opportunity to say, oh, okay, should we do the heavyweight, make a heavyweight great again? Well, I hope Tom has the rematch with Gunn as soon as possible. So far as I know, that doesn't have any significant damage, and I hope that if there's going to be another eye pokes, they need to start enforcing disqualifications, literally, and stuff like that, because that was a nasty eye poke. And 14% of the fighters, including Gunn and Jones, are responsible for 65% of the eye pokes. So it's not like everyone doing it every now and then. No, it's that certain percentage of people who kind of trade themselves and kind of think that they can get away with it because the rules are not really enforced enough. So I think we need to UFC needs a stricter rules there. And yeah, I hope Tom gets a rematch and Gan gets the rematch. So there we see if Tom wins and if Tom comes back and wins, then I still may think that what would make the most sense is Tom versus Jones. But at this point, yeah, they're now hyping the Poatan versus. But I think Jones wins. He's way bigger. He has advantage on the ground. Poatan is super great striker, super scary and dangerous. My favorite fighter as well. But it's still not. I don't think it's going to be very difficult for Jones, especially if he prepares for it. Sure. Okay, and keep scrolling up. Okay, guys, I just encourage you, don't write BS. Okay, I'm not doing it now, but I'm gonna just start timing out people or hiding them from the channel. Okay, Jesus Christ. Sometimes creeps show up, but what we do, we hide them from the channel. Are you from Georgia? Yes, I am. And yesterday's tutorial was dope. You got speed. Hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you. And I'll do, as I said, I'll try to do it tomorrow. Okay? I hope I feel better. There's nothing wrong with me specifically, like not sick. It's just been, and as I said, it might be a little bit in relation with my spiritual experiences. I'm reading lately a lot. I'm being like doing very personal stuff when it comes to, you know, like educating myself. I like reading generally and the learning, but it's been quite active period. I'm learning more about myself, investigating myself, and, you know, learning about the chakra function and that kind of philosophy. And it's ironic enough, I'm now on the third chakra, which is willpower, fire, strength, living energy, you know, that kind of stuff. And well, it's been, you know, we all have that issue that am I strong enough? Am I willed enough? And since I started like moved to that third chakra reading and, you know, like practicing and living through it, let's call that way, I've been in that weird state. So I don't even think that there isn't something wrong with me specifically, just been a little bit of spiritual experience. And I should be, and that's the thing, I gotta use my willpower, you know, and just believe in myself and try to do a live stream tomorrow. Will you box tomorrow? Yes, especially if you guys asking me that much. Yes, I'll do that for you. Thank you for all the invitations. I'm married, guys, and people who follow me quite some time, they know that too. So letting you know, I'm married, and my husband usually appears in the chat too. He's just been working lately a lot himself. Georgia, oof, gotta deal with Putin. So sorry. Thank you. Appreciate you saying that. Yeah, it's been tough politically, and it transits on the environment too. But we gotta keep taking care of our lives, and you know, I'm always happy to share more about Georgia when people come in. The reason why I always say that, you know, Mirab and Ilya, because I do boxing live streams, and, you know, there is a little bit, and we talk about MMA, and I always love to say that I'm from the same country, and then people ask questions. So bringing more visibility to my country is one of the things that makes me feel better. Islam versus Jack, who do you think will win? Well, that's what I'm saying. Striking, I'm not. Jack is a good striker, good boxer. So I know if Islam, and Islam is a good one too. Like, he's not bad. But if he's gonna start feeling that he's not, you know, he's not winning there, he's gonna obviously go for the takedown. And I think that if Islam successfully goes on the ground, like puts Jack on the ground, he rather wins by the control time or submission. On the ground, he's going to be superior. But I'm just interested how it goes. You know, I cannot tell you exactly, give you exact predictions here. That's why I've been saying all this time. It's like 50-50 to me. And tomorrow we shall see the truth. Now I know Georgia is not only confined to producing world-class athletes, but incredibly beautiful women too. There are a lot of beautiful women in Georgia, but I probably don't look Georgian as much as I would look maybe Ukrainian, Russian, Slavic in general, because my mom is half Russian, half Ukrainian. She's a Slavic woman. She's very beautiful. And my father is literally dark black hair. He used to be a handsome man in his youth, but you know what I mean. So I'm a mix myself. And I mean, this hair is dyed, but it's like a light ash. On the sun can get even blonde. So I'm more on my mother's side with my looks. And I think I look more Slavic, though I have some little features. My husband says that Georgians have like a quite a prominent, I don't know, I don't know what you call this part, but they have like a little cavity here, and he says that I have it. I don't have it on the light now, but yeah, that's his observation that generally Georgians have that. You like Crawford, yes, and Crawford's boxing really changed a lot in my approach too. Before I would go for this one style and stuff. Now I'm also looking for fluidity, and I'm building up my own way how to create that fluidity. And I really was inspired by Crawford. Also including sparing the energy, you know, distributing in the right way. The way how he gave away 3 rounds against the Canelo just to win the whole fight, because it was the whole thing strategy. 3 rounds, he was just observing, getting used to it, taking his time. That was brilliant, right? So yeah, it really influenced me, my approach to it as well. I wouldn't be Crawford, but I would love to train with him. Oh man, like I think I could learn so much from that man. Okay, I keep scrolling up. Nobody likes watching this guy's fight, 3-5 rounds of grappling, so pathetic. Well, I mean, in Islam's defense, Islam has a solid striking. Yeah? He has a bunch of knockouts too. So let's give the guy the credit. He's one the best Dagestani fighter, better than Khabib. Sorry, not sorry, but Islam at this point he outperformed Khabib, and it might not be necessarily grappling. And his grappling is beautiful. Like, it's not just hugging and holding. He has a solid BJJ. He has very cool submissions. So I think he's quite a well-rounded fighter. Yes, he's still super dominant on the ground, and he has a lot of fights going on. But he's a good striker as well. So yeah, I don't understand that hate specifically to Islam. Okay, keep scrolling up. Your accent is going off and on. Yes, it does. I know, it happens. So, whose boxing style do you like the most? Well, as I said, lately I've been liking Crawford for his fluidity. If you look at him, like, he doesn't have exact, like, single style. He just adapts. And sometimes he does things that might not be, like, look super awesome, but he does it super efficiently. And people who really watch boxing and who really understand boxing, they just, everyone enjoyed that fight. A lot of people were like, a lot of casuals were, oh, he just running away. No, he wasn't. He was brilliantly countering, both offensive then defense. Like, he was the main, and he didn't even have to switch stances. It would be interesting to see him switching stances. The reason why he didn't do it, well, he didn't need to. And this is what I like about Crawford, and this is more and more how I look at the boxing. When we pick a specific style, I mean, I like Peekaboo for sure, despite its downside when it comes to super energy consuming and basically gassing out within the first 5 rounds. You have the I like Soviet footwork style, like b-wall style, super cool. I like Mexican school, obviously Canelo, but when I remember one of the super cool fights of the like a pure Mexican classic boxing against like the was Barrera versus Prince Nassim Hamed, when he was like Antonio Barrera. He just mauled him, and he did it with the classic like a Mexican style boxing, and it was beautiful to watch. So yeah, there are different styles, and there are mixes. There are a lot of mixes. I like Ukrainian boxing, where they, you know, started using a lot of shifts, a lot of cutting angles, also a lot of Soviet. There is a little bit of the influence of the Soviet boxing, but they don't seem to bounce too much. Like they don't bounce too much. It's like if you look at Lomachenko and Usyk, especially Lomachenko, they more like a phantom phantom step. They do phantom step. So it's not even like a bouncing, right? So yeah, there are just a lot of interesting styles and a lot of interesting backgrounds, the breakdowns on those styles. Are you a boxer? Yes, I am. I disagree. I believe Khabib is better, but I understand. Well, the problem is Khabib has still a few question marks. 15 of his fights been, it's literally not one. You can Google yourself, you can see. And I'm not saying it was his fault. Maybe that was the only environment he could fight, and that were the only people he could fight with. But for 15 of his fights are literally like not really a record fights. Then in UFC, he went up to the elite. He brought the elite level of wrestling, but his striking wasn't good. If he met someone like Islam now, or someone like Ilia Topuria, who has solid wrestling and grappling and BJJ, but also way better striking. Khabib didn't have a good striking. He was getting better at some point, but then boom, his father passes away. His mother asked him to retire, something like that, and he makes a decision to retire. But it also kind of created the thing that he retired when he was at his prime. And you can't blame him, whatever was that's his decision. But saying that he's more GOAT than John Jones or Demetrius Johnson or even Anderson Silva or GSP, yeah, some of those guys had losses. Yeah, well, Jones didn't. Technical disqualification, he had one loss, but the thing is, well, Khabib, those questions give me a little bit question mark. In the meantime, well, Islam has one loss in the earlier part of, he's been knocked out. But what I respect about him, he's having now, does he have the longest winning streak, or one of the longest winning streaks now? Definitely, I remember he has the longest winning streak for years now. And the guy proved that at this point, whoever you put in front of him, he wins. So is Khabib really better than Islam, realistically? My husband says Crawford is one of the all-time greatest, and switch hitter, I don't think has been anyone better ever. I mean, definitely one of the greatest fighting IQs as well, like super fluid, but the guy put the boxing to another level. It's not about the style against style anymore. It's Crawford against any style. So far, and he's actually in the age, he might just retire soon too. So we shall see. But no, the guy is brilliant. Hey, who taught you boxing? Well, I used to go to the Artur Bourdian's boxing gym back in Tbilisi, so that's the first. He was my first coach. But yeah, then I encountered some other people, and then I started self-coaching as well. After getting a certain level of experience, I was like, started readjusting certain things myself, trying out certain things myself, and so far this is how I do. Was about to ask, do you have cardio to peekaboo style? Definitely not. I can do the elements. Maybe I just that's a bit of fluidity. You can just switch to it. Just do the element of it. Like do it. Like why do something that your opponent wouldn't expect from you? But me going pure peekaboo now, I wouldn't last a round or two. Usyk, Crawford, Beal are best boxers. Yeah, definitely top tier. But there are also many great boxers. Like okay, you have Pacquiao and you have okay, let's go. You have Ali, you have Tyson, you have Roy Jones Jr., Bernard Hopkins. You have earlier era like the four kings like Duran, Thorns, Hagler, and Sugar Ray Leonard, and then you have early like Sugar Ray Robinson, and yeah, I mean that era, and well now other peekaboo artists, especially Floyd Patterson. As I said, I watched the guy's documentary. I knew the boxer. I knew that was one of the Castamata students, but I didn't really know his story. And you know, that's kind of part of his history when you relearn it or you learn it, encounter first time. I think he was the greatest champion. I feel like as the champion at his heart, super humble, super sweet, super like believing in the best. When he was fighting Sonny Liston, he really believed in that. He despite people saying that he's criminal, he's not doesn't deserve to have a title match. He was saying that despite his unfortunate background, he believes that there is good in him and he's a great boxer, and he like. So I don't know, the man. Whatever I heard from his talking, like I think that was one of the true. One of the rare true champions. Habib only became famous after the fight with Conor. Nobody knew this guy before. He only fought weak opponents. Well, he beat Conor though, so it's not only that. It's also sometimes it's all about PR as well. Conor got a good early PR as well because his flamboyancy. Don't forget that UFC handpick sometimes, like what they do with Paddy Pimblett now. They're like he's kind of fits the star boy interesting persona thing. So what they do, they give him, you know, good matchups, and you know, for him to get a better experience. So sometimes and then you have Roy Nelson, who was knocking out people flat, and UFC just didn't want him to be. They didn't know how to market him, so they started putting him in the short notice with the injured, with the fighter, like giving him the worst matchup. So you know, essentially he could go on the downhill. So UFC and marketing and their picks, whoever they want to market or whoever they think is good are marketable. That is like another shady area of the whole UFC thing, because I think there've been a lot of fighters who will have to really grind their way up to finally get acknowledged, whether then sometimes UFC has the heavy favorite where they just we're just groom them and give them a relatively comfortable passage. Don't stick to one topic too long. Let's scroll up. Okay. Tank is also amazing. Yeah, Mr. Wanta Davis. That for sure. Nowadays, like the lightweights are great, actually. Okay, I'm keep scrolling up, guys. Me and Clarissa Shields, she wins. She's way bigger and she's way more experienced. Sugar Ray was fast. Yeah, he was. Did you ever do the research on those Jon Jones fights I told you about? I'll be honest, I forgot. I really did. What's your thoughts on Valentina versus Bailey? I would go for Valentina. Okay. Like Floyd versus Crawford. I mean, a little bit a big difference in the age, but could be interesting. Why not? Maybe exhibitional fight. Okay. GDM versus Islam prediction, as I said, if Islam loses the advantage in the stance, he's gonna go for the takedown, probably gonna win there. But let's see, GDM is one of the. You can call him one of the best boxers here in the UFC at this point. So we shall see. Hope to speak English like you. Just practice. I didn't speak English almost at all 5 years ago, and now I'm here I am now. Okay. David Benavides, probably in Benavides versus Bivol, who think win. Isn't Benavides like a light heavyweight? Middle. He's quite big. I think he's bigger. He has the guy. I don't like his boxing necessarily, but he definitely uses his advantage in the reach. He's like a body type. The guy is almost like a slender man with super long reach, and he uses it like the best he can. So. Might be just the wrong matchup, because sometimes you want to put, two great boxers and see their style, but the size and the weight disparity could create a problem. I appreciate honesty, but when you have time, please research on them fights. Well, you know what? You gotta remind me which fights you said, and I can do that after. Like, I don't have to do anything tonight, pretty much, so I can do that right after. Gideon was training with Volk, and they must have put all work in the grappling game. Well, hopefully, because that's the thing. Sometimes he might surprise us with the efficient, improved takedown defense, for example, right? And stuff like that. So, because wrestling is a little bit a thing that you can improve at it, but you still cannot compare with the elite wrestlers. It's like, it's easier to learn striking than wrestling. Somehow, this is how it is, right? But it's still, he could get better throughout his camp. So I'm looking forward to get surprised and excited of the fight. Yeah, about the Ali's hand speed, the jab speed. Well, Ali's one of the fastest hands in the heavyweight still, I think. Slenderman. Viewer versus David Benavides. Yes, I already said my opinion. What about champion wants fight Patty the Batty? I think UFC wants to fight them for the Paramount event. So it was supposed to be Gigi first, but people just would rather watch because of their Elias and Patty's beef. And well, as I said, Patty's being like a UFC boy now, and Elias being an actual reigning champion. So yeah, like definitely gonna be entertaining fight. If Patty doesn't collapse, because I'm not saying anything negative, but so far he beat who? Chandler. We don't know anything else, like what he's capable of so far, and we know that he's been given a good matchups within the UFC. What do you think men and women can exclusively be friends? Men usually always. There are exceptions where it's like there is no attraction from men's side whatsoever. There are friendships like that sometimes, but usually a woman is not that attractive. She's just, cool personality, and they maybe were grown up together and stuff like that. But women tend to not having emotions towards men and be able to be friends. men are usually in love. If it's a relatively good looking girl, if they have a common, they were raised together, or it doesn't matter, they just, have a common interest. Like, men tend to get attracted to, that doesn't matter, sexually or with a serious intentions, but there is almost always attraction from the men's side. But that's why it is about setting. There are certain situations where, I mean, we shouldn't be that desperate, right? There are like 7 million people, not 7 anymore, 8 billion people in the world. And it's like almost, I mean, and one of them is your mom and dad and like, siblings, and you have some siblings and relatives, everything else, like, it's just, there is a big options. Okay, no kids, no, we know all of that, but so there is a lot of choice, basically. The point is, you gotta like, there are certain environments, like, for example, if it's your best friend's wife, right? If it's your like a relative, like if it's this and that, even if there is attraction, but the relationship is based on the respect, and usually women control that, because since guys are attracted to them, if a woman says that, basically friend zones them, but friend zones not in that way that, oh, I still get, you're still my bestie and I'm still gonna let you be around me, not in that way. Like, I think women should be more clear that I really appreciate you, but I don't want to be anything more than friends. And when you say friends, you should mean as a friend. Like, I have a friend like that, and I've been having a limited contact because, I don't want them married and stuff, but I helped them a lot in the things. I did he wrote a poem to actually another girl, and I made the artwork and the thing. So it's, if you set the thing that I want to be friends, you actually have to be ready to be a good friend. But also for the man, agreeing just to, because like, or to be around, that's not a good idea. If there is anything else apart that you value that woman for, apart from that attraction you have, if she's actually a great friend, if she's actually someone who you talk to, and you can, she can give you a good advice or something like that. So the higher the higher level of intellectuality you have, and the environment you're in, it's more possible, because there are a lot of boundaries, there are a lot of, rules, there are certain things, and people with more boundaries, they tend to stick their rules, stick their morals and principles, right? And that helps other people to do the same, right? When we have in a little bit intellectually poor environment, we tend to see people acting on their animal instinct. And as I said, guys, and it happens both ways. Women also get attracted to wrong people, and people they shouldn't get attracted to. But I think men tend to do that more, and that's why they say, look, it's impossible to be friends with men. It's possible. It's possible if you're coming from the higher intellectual environment, where you have, guys, strong boundaries, where you have other things to do with your lives too, and you have other options, other free options to have relationships with, right? So it's not only that one person you're obsessed with. If there is the case, I think it's possible to be a friends, comrades, people who give a value in each other's lives, and create a win-win situation, and without damaging and ruining relationships like that they're already involved, that kind of stuff. So I ranted a little bit, but yeah, sorry, not sorry. But you cannot help who you're attracted to, right? That's the thing. I'm sorry, I don't mean to disrespect anyone, but think about this way. If you just get attracted, like, oh, I got attracted to the girl, well, why? Have you ever asked yourself, why did you get attracted to her? Because she's beautiful body, face, or that? Or do you think, is it more than that? Well, that's the point. The more you evolve yourself, the more your criteria change. So that's why highly educated and quite successful men tend to find the balance between, so they wouldn't go necessarily for the most beautiful girl, I mean, I'm talking about men who really want to a good partner for their lives, who complement them, right? Not just a sugar baby and stuff like that. They usually go for between good looks. I mean, average. You should get attracted to your partner, right? But they also prioritize their background, their character, and all that kind of stuff. That is way more way more attractive long term, let me tell you that way. I mean, if you ask my husband, like he'll respond you, he's been saying that, like, he met more beautiful women, and there's nothing wrong saying that, because I mean there is always someone better, someone worse looking, and sometimes it's subjective. For someone I might be the like ultimate, the most beautiful girl in the world for someone, but objectively speaking, I'm not more beautiful than prime Monica Bellucci, for example, right? So it's kind of, at the end of the day, it just kind of gets on the background, on the second plan, where you're a person who's been through stuff and you realize that you need that partner with certain characteristics. And well, here we are. You know, one of the reasons he chose me was because I was the oldest family, oldest sibling in a dysfunctional family, when the father figure was like not strong, you know, not in charge of the family. Like, it's funny enough, but that developed traits in me, being patient, resilient, being able to take care of others, but also be in the situation, be able to adapt to critical situations and not panic. Like, there's so many other traits that get developed because of those characteristics and criteria. So yeah, that's just yeah, you can control. You actually can choose who you get attracted to. No spamming, Chris says. Sorry for ranting again. There are real girls in the real world, bro. Go work on your game. You're not get some random YouTubers this way. Okay, there's someone's just being... Okay, we talked about Habib Islam earlier. Yes, men prioritize aesthetics. Well, there is always a balance. Sometimes you meet a super good girl that actually can be enhanced. Just a little bit of, you know, some treatments, you know, maybe. Like, I didn't look as good as I look now. I was like 8 kilograms heavier. My eyebrows were like not good. I had messed up teeth, like not horrible, but it was like literally, I had chubby cheeks. When, you know, just little adjustments. I got my braces, because when we're in a relationship, it's easier financially and all that kind of stuff. So I was able to get my braces in. I did my eyebrows, like microblading. It's hard to see, but it's my natural hair, and it's a little bit microblading, because I literally don't grow eyebrows here. It is never, like, I never had eyebrows when I was a child. And all of a sudden, just a little bit of taking care of my hair, and that's it. I don't even need makeup. I'm looking way better, and the braces fixed my facial shape. And objectively speaking, I'm way more attracted to. But having a man being able to see through, you know, all these imperfections, and focusing on those traits, and kind of thinking for himself, oh, she looks good, she has good body, but like, you know, all of that can be enhanced. All of that can be better. And guess what? A woman who is really in love and she's with a good man, she's even more beautiful, because she's glowing and shining because of the happiness and the peace and all that kind of stuff, right? So there are many ways how to make a woman more beautiful, even without doing any plastic surgeries and stuff. But can you change her character? Can you change her morals? There is such a thing as growing in a relationship. Like, you can grow together and evolve and do better. Absolutely, we've done that, and it's one of the most beautiful things that I experienced in my life. But at the same time, you still need a certain ground values for it. You need certain characteristics. If I wasn't tough for a girl, if I was a spoiled girl with a rich family or something, I wouldn't be able to do that. I wouldn't be able to be in this specific relationship, you know what I mean? With that specific dynamic that we both wanted to create. So yeah, that's why, like, yeah, you can choose and you should choose who you go for. Yeah, we're changing convos too fast, I know, but it's not specific live stream, just Q&A. So okay, keep scrolling up. That is a great advice. Yes, if she's with a good man, it's true. I mean, men should lead. Guys, work on yourself. I mean, majority of my audience are male. Somehow it ended up that way, and I understand that. But I'm always, my husband is here, and I'm always open about it. And I was even the one who's like, you know what? No, let's present it that way, because my intention is not just getting your attention. My intention is to, well, teach you some boxing or show my experience and my training. But also, like here right now, my intention is to tell you that you as a man get in control of your own self first, because you're gonna control it. You control not in a bad way, but you should become the captain of the ship. Your woman's gonna be your first right hand, and she's gonna be there, and you know, then you're gonna have kids, and she's gonna, if you choose a good woman, trust me, she's gonna give you so much help with a lot of stuff and so much support at the times. But still, as a man, you should be a captain of the ship, right? So for that, you should not seek of outside validation. You really need to focus on getting there. And it's combination. Physically strong. Men should be physically strong and trained to have a healthy production of testosterone. I'm not talking about the ego lifting us up. I'm talking about the real good training for longevity. I'm not even talking to go professional, but do a little bit of the martial arts. You know, be with that healthy environment where there are other healthy men, you know, and some of them have families, some of them not, but it's like a healthy environment. And then choose the career path or the job or the goals and pursue them, go there. You're also going to meet other fellow men, that you create a good environment for yourself. And then educate yourself, read, be open, don't be rigid. Sometimes men, they're achievers, but then they become a little bit too rigid. Try to open yourself to the art, to philosophy, to education, to be able to understand other people too, you know, understand why they are like this, where they come from, because it's also better for you, for when you choose who you deal with, when you choose who you avoid to, and all that kind of stuff. So you as a man need to get in control, and you need to get in control of yourself in the first place. And then you find a good woman, and you both of you can do a lot of things. Oh, great! So a family and little baby girl. That's you're truly blessed, and I wish you always be like this. I was here when you guys got monetized. I'm a big supporter. I appreciate it. Thank you. And well, you gotta remind me which fights you mentioned with the Jones. I forgot those two, so I can look them up tonight. There's a difference between a good man and a nice guy. Well, this is the quote from my husband right now. So yes, there is a big difference. Reminder, most of the men here are just lusting after you and don't give a damn. That's okay, because those men are temporary. They're gonna scroll through. The ones who stick around are the ones who we talk and share regarding boxing, training, real experiences, and it's called growing community. So yeah, if you yourself are for those kind of things, you can stick around. If you are for same reason as the most of people or most of men, as you're saying, then I don't know, stick around. That's an engagement for me anyways, and I'm not even doing anything wrong right now. Do you have an advice for a teenager who's going to be an adult next year? It's hard to navigate sometimes, but just first thing is always, as an adult, but especially as a child, find a good environment. Surround yourself with the great people who are smarter, superior, but also genuinely want good for you. You're gonna be the best way we learn is from other people. Reading and self-educating, watching videos, listening and reading books is good, but surround yourself with the right people. And which environments are there? Fighting and martial art, the combat sport communities are quite great. You gotta be careful which, if you see they're like too heavy sparring, so they're like too ego ego sparring stuff, maybe that's not the best gym. But generally, if you go end up in the right gym and with the good people, they're super good. Like the gym where we go, super great people, absolutely great environment. Obviously, a healthy work environment as well. Even friends, so like try to find them, pick them in the places where they're most likely gonna be people like that. If you go to the bars all the time and clubs, and yeah, there are certain communities surrounding those activities too, but they are not that healthy. They might not be bad people, but they are not healthy. They're not strong, and you're gonna be exactly same as your environment. Yeah, but a good majority of American women want to be strong and independent. Literally, I've had women get pissed off for holding the door open for them. Well, that's not being independent and strong. That's being inappropriately aggressive and arrogant. That's not being strong. That's not strength. To me, the most strong people are the ones who are humble, who stand their ground, who are self-aware, who don't get offended, who practice art of detachment. When I meet people like that, I try to be like them. I try to learn from them. I had quite of the journey myself, and I'm proud of being able to achieve certain things. And one of the things is being respectful in the conversations, no matter what, and being able to position my opinion, especially if it's the right and valid opinion, without even raising a voice. You know what I mean? This is not like the concept of being strong, and it's just it's not being strong and independent. It's just being loud and annoying or bitter. Bitterness doesn't come from age only, it's all the micro frustration. Well, it's just kind of good correlation, causation effect. It's like, the longer you live, the more micro frustrations you're gonna have. So yeah, age kind of translates into that. But it also definitely, the factor of how you process it changes it. That's why you have some people who are old enough, but they're super light and super positive, because they learn how to process that negativity. Their approach to life is different. Well, it was so good to be here. All right, now I'm going to train for the upcoming fight. We'll see later. Well, then you will be coming back online. Okay, and I wish you the best. And yeah, just keep us updated. About that, let's talk about combat sport again, if you don't mind, guys. Yes, let's talk about it. But also, my phone is dying, so I'm just letting you know, guys, I'm gonna have to wrap it up soon. Okay, so someone says about Rampage Jackson. It's crazy. Rampage Jackson called Jon Jones near from Matrix after here fight, because Jones had clear visual fear against Rampage and had nightmares of getting knocked out in the first round, yet avoided it. Oh, interesting. It's been a while when I've seen that fight. I don't even remember what was surrounding it, like before the fight. So gotta rewatch it. Misery loves company. If you separate yourself, you leave them with their misery. Well, yeah, let them deal. It's a good thing, actually. Let people deal with their stuff, because it still starts from us. As I encourage men to get strong, get in control, because you have to be a captain of the relationship, that kind of stuff. Well, same for women. You also need to be ready for a good person in your life, a good woman. You can for a good man in your life. You cannot just be and wait for someone to rescue you, or someone who just take you for your looks only and just behave the way you want and just expect everything to be fine. It doesn't work that way. I think we need to practice more and more adulting, like becoming adults. Are discussing the UFC this weekend? I think I'm gonna live stream that. I'm gonna be in the Red Buffalo Sports Bar where we're gonna watch the fight, the card, and yeah, I'm just gonna put the camera on me and gonna talk to the thing, but also watch the fight and react to it. I'm going for Shevchenko. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Oh, how much taxi driver salary per month there? Well, I'm not sure, but taxi is quite cheap here, and scooter taxis are also quite cheap here. So I don't know. I don't think it's that much, but they also work quite a lot, so maybe it's accumulating. You're a UFC fan, ma'am. Well, I'm UFC enthusiast, I would say that. Yeah, I like watching it. Fan is a little bit, I don't know, like, what do you mean by fan? I don't think I'm a fan of anything necessarily, but I love and appreciate a lot of things. So that's what I appreciate mixed martial arts and UFC specifically, is the organization I'm watching. There are other organizations too, and in the West we watch UFC more. Here in Asia, One Championship is way more popular. So I just turned here. What's the basis of your stream? Well, today it was just a walk. Then I went to the Marina Beach. If you play the stream back for a little bit back, you will see that I'm showing a little bit of views and stuff. All of my usually we end up talking about UFC, upcoming events, boxing, that kind of stuff, and people asking me when I'm going to do another boxing, like a combinations, and or translate my training. But today it's just a mix. So it's a Q&A, asking questions, responding, talking a little bit about sports, but also a little bit about relationships, real stuff, friendships, maturity, that kind of stuff. Which country do you have? I'm in Vietnam. Good night. Thank you for the great insights tonight, especially about how to deal with the negative outcomes, setbacks, and outside negative energy. This knowledge is priceless. I appreciate it. That what helped me, at least, So if it can help you as well, I would be glad. Who will win, JDM or Islam this Sunday? We shall see. If Islam manages to easily get on the ground, then on the ground I go for Islam for sure. But that's the point. JDM is a good striker. He might have a striking advantage against Islam, but when he attempts to go in, it has to do a lot how GDM is going to be able to do takedown defenses, that kind of stuff, and keep the fight in the stand-up. So that's why I'm saying 50-50, because I don't know how it goes. I'm from Georgia originally, but right now in Vietnam, Nha Trang. So I'm doing some kicks in the last video. I'm glad you still got the kicks. I mean, that moment kind of is there. They might not be the most powerful, and I might hurt my shins more than someone else, but always try to remember the movement every now and then. So sometimes I do it. Sometimes I do it just to have the technique in place and keep it up. Oh, I'm Georgian. Share a bullet GDM and you will make a great Red Hat team. Team Gingers. Yeah, that's the list you would never knew you would want to have. Okay, keep scrolling up. People are overrating GDM and underrated Islam striking. Well, that's the thing. I don't know. It's maybe my personal Instagram and Facebook and all social media algorithm, but I actually see the reason why I'm giving credit to GDM as well is because I see him being underrated. Like everywhere I see that Islam already won. And maybe that happens that way. I'm not saying that it doesn't, because Islam is one of the greatest fighters here currently in UFC. But also just wiping off GDM like he's nothing, at least that's what I encounter. So it's interesting, maybe you have a different audience or different people you encounter. So they're more like GDM fans and Dagi haters. Well, in my feed, it's opposite. Everyone says that Islam already won and GDM is like nothing, and he's just like a lucky shot. But that's the thing. I don't like that attitude to, even if that person, like, okay, Strickland knocked out Adesanya, but he did it, right? He did it. Like saying disrespecting a current champion like that is a little bit of like, I mean, at least let them lose first and then say, okay, that was just just the one-time thing with like Bilal and Islam would prove that, yeah, he's great at the welterweight as well. So let's watch that fight and then we see the outcome. Oh, okay. Everyone in the world thinks in Judaism is some kind of monster. Not in Caucasus. In Caucasus, it's more like, nope. It's Islam. Islam can beat. There are even people saying Islam can beat Khamzat. Despite the super big weight disparity. This guy struggled with Burns wrestling and so I'm worried for him. Yes, that's a good point. So, but we'll see. He was preparing. There was a camp. They were training with Volkanovski, who obviously lost to Islam. But he's one of the super great fighting IQs, so he could give some insights, and we shall see. We shall see. Like it's like having Pereira, who is a super great striker, but zero wrestling or grappling, like anything. Not even like not struggling. He's just not a wrestler at all, but he managed to, on the first time against the Ankalaev fight, he managed to do all of the 7 takedown defenses. Interesting, huh? Yeah, the people were saying that Ankalaev didn't even try properly to go on. Well, maybe, but the fact is that he, for primarily as a striker, for him to be able to do all those takedown defenses was a good improvement in his game, right? So that's what I'm looking forward to. We shall see. Is it like any changes in his games, GDM's games? Is there anything they adjusted potentially for Islam? Islam's how he's gonna adapt to the new weight class. He might be more healthy, but at the same time, is it going to be as fast as he usually is? So let's just there's so many questions like when it comes to that. I heard GDM is also training with the Craig Jones black belt BJJ. Well, as I mentioned before, learning striking and improving striking is faster than wrestling. But still, fact that he's been training now with BJJ, you're saying Craig Jones. the black belt BJJ. Well, it makes sense that probably most of the UFC fighters do that somehow, and it doesn't sometimes translate it. But we'll see. We shall see what kind of training camp he went through. And as I said, it's interesting to see certain moments. Even if he loses, but let's say he loses not in the first round, but he loses a decision, that already says that okay, he survived Islam's grappling game. So yeah, I'm just excited for the fight. So let's let it happen. UFC can't be predictable. At the end of the day, it's the combat sport, and anything can happen. In the UFC, we have seen it multiple times. With all this being said, Islam will win is what I think. LOL. Well, first of all, it's a very good point, and second of all, you still picking Islam. There is nothing wrong with that. I'm not picking either for the same reason, because there's so many things I'm not aware of. I'm not aware of their training camps, just the little details, their adaptability, their ability to evolve, especially for GDM. That was like his first title defense, and when you're already champion and you have a first title defense, there is a difference between when you're coming up there. So what would be what was his camp? What was it oriented on? Ideally, it would be oriented on improving his ground game or takedown defenses as much as possible. But we shall see. Like, you know, there's certain things that there's so many things that we just cannot know. And I think people underrate Islam fight IQ. For him to knock out Volk in second fight is absolutely. Like, I think people do that, and I don't know why, because I'm saying that Islam is one of the best fighters. He's super well-rounded. He's like one of the newer generations of the super well-rounded fighters. And Volk is one. I already mentioned that he is like a great fighting IQ. He has a great fighting IQ, and Islam knocks him out. Islam has very good distance control in his striking. He has kicks. He has all of it, and he has a very smooth, good transition between ground and striking. So he's dangerous in both. And what if why aren't we talking about Islam potentially improving his striking and making it, adjusting it, evolving it? So that's what we expect to see. We want to see not the same fights all over or the same type of fights. We want to see the evolution. We want to see fighters evolving and showing that in the octagon. But Merab is our future GOAT, no doubt. Well, that's true. Okay, Diana, who is an overall better fighter, Merab or Islam? I would take Islam. Islam as talking about the style and execution technique, but the Merab as the GOAT is why it's a completely real thing, because Merab craziest cardio, and cardio is not easy to train. Yes, there might be some genetical capacity, but training VO2 max is super hard work. It takes super positive enforcement on it, and him staying motivated and just keep doing it, because it's one of the toughest things to develop. And Merab's ability, how he showed in the last few fights, that actually at that age getting better, his fight between now the Corey Sandhagen, the way his striking evolved, it kind of even started looking a little bit like Ilya style of the way how he started to throw punches. I think he trained with Tapurias maybe a little bit on that. So his technique is not still that clean, but in the last fight I saw a beautiful element. So it wasn't just him ragdolling Corey. That was beautiful takedowns. There were beautiful exchanges, especially that one moment when he almost knocked him out. So it also depends who you meet. The tougher your opponent is, the harder it is to execute your technique. So that's why I put Islam technique-wise, the execution of technique better. But if we put away the technique factor and just the fighting technique, and we put overall, Merab is not less he's definitely not less. So as you said, he's a future GOAT. Well, I think if he does the successful title defense with Piotr Jan now, 4-time defense, he's already GOAT to me. Okay, guys, but okay, I appreciate you guys, but my phone is literally dying, 3%. So I gotta take that opportunity to say bye. Thank you for being here. It always makes me feel better every time I do live stream. It actually makes me quite motivated and excited. So I'll most likely gonna come back with the boxing live stream. So we'll do combos, we'll do, you know, training, all that kind of stuff, and I'll live stream that tomorrow. And also I will live stream the fight, my reactions. I'll try to adjust that and try to manage to organize that as well. And then also Sunday for karaoke nights, back to the karaoke nights. So whoever don't remember that I was doing some karaoke here in the Trang, well, you're gonna have some fun because that's gonna be cool. So yeah, thank you very much, and I see you in the next live stream. Bye bye.